Hey, everybody. Listen, it's Monday night trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. Glad to see y'all in the building. Come on in, and as you come on in, hit that like button. Listen, tonight's topic again, I have a lot of topics titled Family Matters, and that's tonight's topic again is called Family Matters. If you have not heard about that case in New York, it's been going on for a while, very controversial, had the people split and divided split and divided because there were people that were team Daniel Penny, and there's people that was team Jordan Neely. And unfortunately, this was a very triggering trial and conversation, and it ended in a way. No matter which way this ended, it was going to be a lose-lose on both sides. But it really is very sad that the whole situation is sad. I'm trying to get the right words to address this particular conversation when it comes to Daniel Penny. And in case you don't know, let me give you a little update on who Daniel Penny is. So in New York City on the subways, and if you're from New York City, from that area, one thing you're going to know about New York City, you're going to see everything and anything in the subways, from people having full-blown meals on the subway, from people dancing in the car, people asking you for money, people acting stone cold crazy. And the best you can do is try to get out of that car, move out the way, or just turn your head like you don't know what's going on. So one day, Jordan Neely, he gets on the train car. The witnesses say that he claimed, he was going to unalive everyone. Daniel Penny, an ex-Marine, he gets involved, and he brings Jordan Neely down to the ground, put him in a chokehold, and unfortunately, now this is a debate too, whether the chokehold is the reason why Jordan Neely is no longer here, or was it because of the substances in his system or the conditions that he had, the pre-existing conditions, like he had medical conditions going on. He also suffered from schizophrenia. So they're trying to say that unfortunately it wasn't the chokehold that necessarily is the reason why Jordan Neely is no longer here. They're saying that it is possibly a combination of everything that he had going on. I say this, they can say what they want, but I would say if it not for the end situation, the chokehold, I feel like Jordan Neely probably would have still been here. But that is my thoughts. But either way, the verdict came back not guilty. We're going to talk about it. Then we're going to talk about indirectly this Jay-Z situation. I'm going to call it a situation where, again, the people are split. Some people are saying, listen, we've been hearing for months that Jay-Z name was going to come up. And he's guilty. And then you got other people that are like clutching their pearls and saying, no way on this earth is Jay-Z remotely near the monster that they have already settled in their mind that Diddy is. And so a controversy came out today because Tina Knowles or one of her social media accounts liked a post where it talked about Jay-Z and this whole particular case, right? Like the post. Tina Knowles came out later and said that she was hacked. She don't play about her family. She would never. And so my thing is, like many people are saying, you were hacked, sis, but in the meantime, you were hacked. They don't write crazy comments. All they did was hack you and like the post. Tina Knowles got to do better, but Tina will be Tina. And I think that when you're up on this pedestal, sort of like the Knowles words, it was like, oh my God, don't you dare say anything about Beyonce. Don't you dare say anything about the Knowles family. Like, nobody's perfect in this world. And I do believe that birds of a feather flock together. I don't believe that for a long time, for decades, you can hang out with somebody who, likes to party and drink all the time and you don't. Like, usually when you hang out with somebody, you have somebody, it's some common ground there. Now, that doesn't mean that, Diva is saying that, Diddy did this and so did Sean Carter, okay, Jay-Z. All I'm saying is that these two seem to be thick as thieves for decades. And I do believe where there's smoke, there's fire. But I also believe that everybody deserves their due process, and we got to see how this thing turns out. So we're going to talk about Tina Knowles. Then we're going to talk about this elderly woman in her 80s. I want to say 81. And this happened a few months ago, but I just came across the story a few months ago. So family members, the things that people will do for money is a crying shame. A crying shame. Family members, came to live with her, tried to keep her as a prisoner, tried to go and get paperwork to have her committed, also they could take over her finances and live in her home. You have got to be at the highest level of disgrace and just despicable when you want to take advantage of an elderly person. Elder abuse. You need to go to jail for the rest of your life. It's just a disgrace. In some communities, in some cultures, the elderly are held up in high regard. But it seems like in America, we want to just take our elderly and put them in the trash and keep it moving and forget that they even exist. When other cultures, the elderly is everything. The people look up to them for wisdom, guidance. They love them and they want to make sure that they're taken care of. Here, we kick the elderly in the trash and we keep it moving. What a disgrace is all I can say. But listen, guys, we got stuff to talk about. Y'all know what y'all need to do, right? Y'all need to hit that like button, and y'all need to make sure that you're what was I going to say? That you're engaged in the comments. Okay, the diva is working, so help me out. So in the meantime, y'all know what I need in that chat, right? I need a what? I need a choo choo. Hold aboard, everybody. It is Monday Night Trending Topics, and we got things to talk about. The title is called Family Matters, okay? We're talking Daniel Petty. That's a New York story. Tina Knowles. Y'all know, listen, the Carters, Beyonce, okay? And we're talking this elderly woman, and she also happened to be from New York. We're going to talk about her story. Listen, I'm going to bring the people on in the building. Hey, Mel.
Hey, Diva.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
Lisa.
Hey, Katrina. Hey,
Hey, Diva.
Hey, Diva. Hey, chat. Choo, choo, choo.
Choo, choo, choo. Listen, hit the like button, y'all. I'm going to start with this story from New York, Daniel Petty. And he was out, listen, he went through the justice system. He won. He was celebrating, right? But it's just very sad, and I do feel for the father. But I will say, Jordan Neely's father, he does have a civil lawsuit out there. So let's go ahead and get into it and start off with this story. So Daniel Petty acquitted in subway chokehold death of Jordan Neely, sparking applause, uproar in a New York City courtroom. So some people were applauding the fact that he was not found guilty. Other people were very upset. Outside of the courtroom, there was a little scuffle too. We'll look at that really quickly. It's always sad with these triggering cases because it's almost like everybody loses. A lot of they call it the unhoused, homeless people were out there because they felt like this was a hit against them also. So Marine veteran Daniel Petty was acquitted by Manhattan jury Monday in a chokehold death of Jordan Neely, a lightning rod case that cast a light on the mayhem plaguing Big Apple subways. Jurors cleared Penny, a 26-year-old Long Islander, of criminally negligent homicide after the fatal caught-on-camera encounter on an Uptown F train last year sparked fierce debates about mental illness, public safety, in vigilantism. A suited-up Penny, who remained stone-faced for much of the 4-week trial, broke out a huge smile as his not guilty verdict was read out, prompting both applause and anger inside the courtroom as the high-profile case came to an end. And that's a depiction, that picture of Jordan Neely's father. Penny finally got the justice he deserved. One of his lawyers, Thomas Kenneth, said while celebrating with him at a bar in downtown Manhattan just hours after the verdict. I'm not surprised in the sense that day one we knew that we believed he would be exonerated because the evidence overwhelmingly supported that. The verdict, which followed more than 20 hours of jury deliberations, came after the more serious manslaughter charge was dismissed by prosecutors last week after the 12 jurors, 7 women and 5 men, deadlocked on the rap. So we're going to see his father speak, and this is Jordan Neely's father, the young man that lost his life, suffered with mental illness. This is his father speaking over the sadness of the system, and pretty much what he's trying to say is the system is broken. Let's take a listen.
I just want to say I miss my son. My son didn't have to go through this. I didn't have to go through this either. It hurts. Really, really hurts. What are we going to do, people? What's going to happen to us now? I had enough of this. The system is rigged. Come on, people. Let's do something about this.
It's very sad. His father's heartbroken. So Manhattan District Attorney Alan Bragg, who quickly faced calls to resign for bringing the case against Penny in the first place, said he respected the jury's ruling and insisted prosecutors follow the facts and the evidence from beginning to end. It really, really hurts, Neely father Andrew Zachary said after the verdict. I had enough of this. The system is rigged. Over the course of the 4-week trial, defense attorneys painted Penny as a hero who was fully justified when he took down Neely, a 30-year-old troubled homeless man who witnesses said was menacing others and making threats on an Uptown F train on May 1st, 2023. They questioned, too, whether there was sufficient evidence that the chokehold caused Neely's death, arguing he died of a mix of schizophrenia, drug use, a genetic condition, and the struggle with the Marine vet. So they're saying that all of that contributed to Jordan Neely's death. This is Daniel Penny in the middle of this in this picture, and his lawyer. Prosecutors tried to convince jurors that Penny was criminally reckless and went way too far while holding Neely in a chokehold for roughly 6 minutes, even after he appeared to stop moving on his own. After watching footage of the fatal encounter more than a dozen times and hearing testimony from 40 witnesses, including terrified strap hangers, jurors ultimately found there wasn't enough proof beyond a reasonable doubt that Penny wasn't justified in his actions. Penny could have faced up to 4 years behind bars if convicted of the lesser charge and up to 15 on second-degree manslaughter. I think the jurors all put themselves in the subway car, heard the fear of the passengers and identified with it, and rejected the criminalization of the actions Mr. Penny took in the face of clear danger. Thomas J. Curran, a former assistant DA in the Manhattan, told the Post, the entire incident was a tragedy all around. The social infrastructure our city maintains to support and aid troubled persons like Jordan Neely clearly failed him. Mr. Penny will forever have a tragic death of Mr. Neely as part of him in his life. But the tragedy that was the death of Mr. Neely does not mean that a crime occurred. Trying to make it a crime was a mistake from the start. Author, a former Brooklyn prosecutor turned criminal lawyer, speculated that the verdict boiled down to the term of reasonableness. Was it reasonable for Penny to act the way he did, to have the fear that he did, or himself or a third party regarding self-defense? Adia said, And I guess once they took manslaughter and the second degree off the table, they pretty swiftly reached a verdict regarding criminality, negligent homicide. News of the verdict, meanwhile, sparked an immediate reaction across the Big Apple and the rest of the country, as some lawmakers claim the DA's office politicized the case and tried to turn Penny into a villain as the crime spirals on the streets and underground. There are people in the DA's office who are quietly relieved that he was found not guilty, a source inside Bragg's office told the Post. You can say that they are happy because someone did die. You could say that they are happy because someone did die, but they don't think he was tried because he committed a crime, but rather because of politics should never happen. So this is a picture. Watching the video is pretty sad because you do see his body goes limp. And people were saying once Jordan Neely was no longer moving, people was telling him like, enough, let him go already. But he didn't. And unfortunately, Jordan lost his life. Others, including Mayor Eric Adams, argued the case highlighted a broken system that failed Neely and others suffering from mental health issues or drug dependency. Jordan should not have had to die. And I strongly believe, I have stated from day one, that we have a mental health system that is broken. Hesler said, when asked if the verdict was a reflection of New Yorkers being fed up with the system. New Yorkers have always been tired of things that allow people who commit violent acts to be part of a revolving door system, he said. It's very, very sad. Mel, your thoughts?
Well, okay. So you know what? First off, thank you for been doing this article and you did a wonderful job. Okay, I was in CVS next to my job today, and some woman came in with a shopping cart, and obviously she was, she had some mental issues, and she was shopping or doing whatever. There was a man who they were escorting her out the store, and she was upset, and she was, feeling judged and all that kind of stuff, and somebody was whispering, her time is over, and just rhetoric stuff. They were adding more fuel to the fire. So what I was saying is that there are people in New York City who excuse my French, who hate, and I will use the word hate, these homeless people, these mental health, these mental issue people. They hate them. You can hear them in the supermarkets, and you just hear the hatred of some of these New Yorkers. And some of them look like this man who got away with murder today. They hate them. So for me, that's why it's hard for me, the jurors, to let him go. Also, I don't know what subway this man rode on, but when I ride on the subways, the F train, the A train, stuff like that, and I don't want to be vulgar on this, on this Diva's channel, you see women with no brassieres on, no shirts on at sometimes. You see babies, again, Pampers change. Again, you see men doing God knows what, of all type of things. It is very uncomfortable. And I remember when this first happened, I was on your channel. I said, what I do when this happens is I pray. I'm going to tell you the truth. I pray. I said, dear God, bless this person. Let them not be hurt or hurt somebody else. And I move to the next car. That's exactly what I do. I do not become a vigilante. The simple fact is I lived in New York City all my life, and I've had many opportunities to be scared and upset and disgusted and all that kind of stuff, but never in a million years, dear, but in my mind did I think that I needed to resort to violence or to take somebody's life. If I did, it would have been, it's all the time here, all the time. People like him, this guy who got away with murder, and also the people who support him, is that it's lazy and it's stupid. They don't have a solution for this. They all these people that talk about, I'm glad he got away, but what is the solution for the more people like the Mr. Neely's who passed away? What is the solution? There are millions of these people in this country in the same condition. So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do as a citizen. If I see this guy who got away with murder, if I see one of those kind of people coming up on a person who's disturbed and all that kind of stuff, and think they're going to take them out, I'm going to stop that person. I'm going to stop them. I'm not going to sit there and just let them just sort of get their rocks off. You're not going to the fields of Africa hunting people down and putting these people on your wall. These are human beings. People have these issues all the time. And to be honest with you, and it's not politically correct. Sometimes, Diva, I don't want to get in the subway because of these issues. So guess what? I excuse my French. I get my ass in the Uber. How about that? Like you these people are not in our homes. We know where they're at, and if we have to, we go up there and then we do the best we can to avoid these situations. But you don't have to take murder into your hands. So they go, oh, well, the city is so. There are problems here. It's political problems, and if anybody should be mad with is the political leaders, and because there's no solutions. I never hear solutions from the MAGA people or people like this. Never. What are the solution for a person like that other than for them to be unalive like this? Is that the only solution? It's crazy, So yeah, because listen, I'm a man here. I'm on the subway, on the same subway these people, and I see everything too. And I've never in a million years thought about somebody, taking somebody's life like that's crazy.
It is, but I did a story maybe a few months back. I the young lady's name, I can't even remember her name right now, but I gotta go follow up on that story where I want to say she called the cops to her house because she thought she heard somebody outside, like something outside or whatever. They came and they ended up unaliving this woman in her own home. In her head, the pow pow went, and it's all on videotape. It's like people in general have to, learn how to deal with mentally ill people. And like you're saying, Mel, the answer is not just take them out. It's insanity. It's just very, very sad. Leo, your thoughts?
Hey Diva, hey everybody, missed y'all. Okay, so this is I see it in a lot of different ways. I see it for one as vigilantism. It's all good when you feel like the person that the jury or the public feels like that it's okay to unalive them because they don't have value. But vigilantism can go both ways. And it's not that I don't get the fact that if these have been two different types of people, it will go a different way. I do understand that. But this is the thing. You allow it with one, but you would not allow it with the other. It would not be allowed if the tables were turned.
Right.
Someone would have to pay a cost because it's always this information or how the law is read as okay, right? You were abused by this man. You're a woman. You were abused by this man. You lived with him for 10 years. You never filed a police report. But when he came at you, you bust him over the head with a bottle and he was unalive.
Right.
So therefore, we do understand your struggle, but you still took this life. So therefore, you're going to get these 25 years. That happens all the time.
Yeah.
That happens all the time. So that's the thing about when I say vigilantism that is society's accepting this. So one, mental health is not being addressed.
Right.
Two, the issues that's going on in the subway is not being addressed. And then three, the justice system is not really providing any justice. That's not justice.
Right.
And so therefore, if this man, Jordan Neely's people, decide to go take justice in their hands for this penny dude, they're going to prison for 25 years. Y'all won't have no problem convicting that.
Right.
So if you don't want one to take justice into their hands, you can't decide that the other, if they do it, they can't take justice in their hands either. The thing is about a military person. I was raised in a military family, and this particular gentleman was a Marine. They don't know how to do, okay, now he's not moving, you can let him go. They are trained to unalive people. That's it, and that's all. And his training kicked in and he did what he was trained to do. And now he has suffered no consequence for that. So what is this going to look like the next time? When he decides, oh, he going to protect everybody on the train. Old ladies, 13-year-old girls. I mean, what is this going to look like? This is a problem. And I'm very disappointed. because it's still, even if he felt like he was doing the right thing to protect Detroit, he still unalived somebody, and it still should be a consequence for that.
Right.
That's all I got, Diva.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Savannah, your thoughts?
Hey, Diva. Hey, panel. I am going to agree with Leo 100%. There's a lot of things that were not addressed here in this trial, from the mental illness of this young man that unfortunately was unalived. He's had a very difficult childhood and life, from his mother being unalived, and she was found in a suitcase. That was a big case in New York back in the 80s. And that started his uncare of being homeless and living in the streets from a very young age, of losing his mother. Um, and Leo is right. I work with Marines all day, every day. They are trained to not shut it off once they know how to subdue a person. But a Marine instructor did testify during this trial and say that the hold that he used on Mr. Neely was incorrectly um, used on him. So he knew that he was trying to knock him out, basically put him to sleep. He didn't think that he was not going to, lose breath. But and then this case also became a political propaganda for the Republican Party, to use it as, see what they're to use it to solidify their message of the streets of New York not being safe, and that and they used Mr. Whatever his name is, Penny Perry, as a hero, a martyr, that he was helping to keep the subways free of people, because in my understanding that Mr. Neely was making some others on the train uncomfortable. And I like Mel. I don't ride the subways much when I go up there. I try to avoid them because I do feel uncomfortable, and I feel at ease. And there's even some young children that I've seen up there, and I always watch and see if they're going to be um, messed with in any way. But it's unfortunate. I do agree that maybe street justice will find its way into Mr. Penny's life, but I didn't expect it to go any other way once I seen that the Republican Party were using this to solidify their message of New York being unsafe.
I appreciate you, Savannah. Thank you. Wayne, your thoughts?
This is Kyle Rittenhouse all over again,
Ooh.
and we know how that turned out. So
Ooh.
I wouldn't really expect much different,
Mm.
you know. And I know the jury can only, you know, go based on what they've been told,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And when you dress the lie up or fix it, the evidence to make it fit the crime.
Mm.
And I agree with Leo wholeheartedly. If the tables been turned, you know, be a little bit different. I mean, you don't know what, like for instance, the story we did with the young girl
Mm-hmm.
and the girl and the lady said, "No, I ain't putting my hands on nobody's kids." And come to find out, the girl was having an episode. So you don't know what people. I mean, you don't always have to put your hands on nobody. The man didn't have no weapon up. I mean, I think there were other things, but he just, gung ho, gung ho. And the other thing too, and I don't want to be a Debbie Downer,
Mm-hmm.
But I heard that man say, I miss my son. I love my son, all that. Now, people with mental ill issues, most of them don't have the capacity to go check themselves in, to go to the hospital to find out what's wrong with them.
Mm.
And I don't know how, if you have this, that somebody didn't intervene
Mm-hmm.
and at least guide this young man to the right place for help. I mean, maybe they did, he refused, I don't know.
Right.
But I think, like you say, family matters.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody in the family should have got that boy some help.
Mm.
I mean, if you got to pound him every day, whatever you got to do. I mean, to be lost out there and have family and they
Mm.
know you homeless.
Ooh.
I mean, somebody, one person. I mean, getting them to a facility, uh, a Baker's Act, you know, get them checked in,
Mm.
observed, to try to get them treatment. I mean, mental ill people can't treat themselves.
Ooh.
They're saying, I am my brother's keeper. Somebody got to look out for us. And the other thing about elderly people, I saw a clip. Um, this girl was from Africa, somewhere. She said she could not believe that people in America put um, their parents in nursing homes
Mm.
and actually pay people to take care of them. They said in Africa they don't do it that way. I mean, the mom, they stay part of the parent. When they have to be taken care of, they stay in the family. It's just a village that they take care of everybody. So yeah, you're right. They quick to put them in there,
Mm.
and that's almost like the last stop. Because if you go into a nursing home, and if your family is not visiting you, guess who's not going to get the care they really need?
Yeah.
When they know if they're already overworked, overstaffed, whatever. I mean, understaffed, and they know that Miss Betty, her son comes every day to check on her, and Mr. Jones down the hall, yeah, ain't nobody gonna be here for about 3 or 4 months.
Oh my
It's
God.
sad. It's sad, but that's how it is. I'm done.
Thank you, Katrina. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm here, Diva. So I'm wondering, since he got away with doing what he did to this guy when David was a Chauvin was on George Floyd and he got put away. So they said it was substances and all that type of stuff and asphyxiation with Chauvin and George Floyd.
Mm.
So this man, as Leo did say, yes, when you're in the military, they tell you that you are K. I mean the K word. That's what they tell you. That's what they inbred in you. They ask us what make the grass grow, and it's blood. Blood make the grass grow. What we do for a living, we ill. We ill. That's what we do. But the Marines is a different standard because they're all the military branches into one, and when you in there, they teach you how to do hand to hand combat. So by him being on this man, his hands were like lethal weapons. Whether the guy said he wasn't using the right hold or whatnot doesn't
Mm.
make a difference. When these people started, when you subdued this man and you seen that this man was subdued, he was out, or you got to put him to sleep or something, why did you keep going? Why did you keep holding him down? Why didn't the people on the train get the conductor to stop the train? I don't know how this work. I'm glad Felicia came up because she knows what happens on these type of trains and whatsoever. But what I'm saying is, why didn't the conductor stop the train or saying I got a problem on this train or whatsoever, and had the cops or something there? I don't know if that's how it works. I'm not for sure. But what I'm saying is, why you got to be the one to subdue somebody and keep them down and holding them down, especially if this guy has a mental problem. And yes, some family members know people have mental problems and whatsoever. But see, the thing of it is, when they become of age, they can't make them stay in those places. They can't make them take their medicine. You can try all you want to, but it's up to that person. Even though they got that mental problem, they can't make you take it. They can't, I mean, you cannot put me in a place and make me stay in that place if I'm of age, even though if I'm not in sound mind. But I can still get out these places. And maybe he ran away from these places. Maybe the family did try to put him in these places. We don't know the situation. If I'm seeing my mom in that situation, maybe the dad feels guilty that the mom got put in that situation. There's a lot going on with this family. It's internal, and it trickle it down to this child. And he's a young man, and yes, he was on the train saying this and doing that. I'm not for sure what he was doing, but still, there was still no reason for you to take this man's life because you was trying to subdue him. If you was trying to subdue him, if you in the military, you got that train of thought, then you should know how to do it and keep him so he wouldn't hurt anybody else, or get somebody on there that they can help you, or tell the conductor to stop the train, get wherever they was at, stop the train and all this type of stuff so he can get some help on this train. There's no reason why that man should have lost his life because you had a hot head and you want to be the one to take him down. No, I don't think he should be free. Exactly. No, I do not. So I'm just trying to see, is that going to clear a way for Chauvin to get out of prison because of what they said about this man? Because this man was on substances. He was had a mental problem whatsoever, and they said that George Floyd had prison records and all the other bullcrap. He was on substances and all that. Like I said, these are two cases that sound similar, but one got away and the other one didn't. So I'm trying to see, is his lawyer gonna come back and try to get Chauvin out of jail? I mean, out of prison from George Floyd. I don't think this man should be free. I don't think he should be walking around. I think he should have got jail time, prison time, or something. 4 years is still nothing for somebody's life that you taking because he's making threats on the train, but he didn't do anything with these threats. You should have got the conductor. The conductor should have stopped the train and they should have got off or called the police or did something, however they work it up in there. Like I said, I don't ride the train, but I see many ways that this could have been happening. Something could have happened different than what has happened. This guy lost his life for what? For what? And you walking free. It's sad. It's just disgusting. And yes, we something is wrong with our justice system. And another thing in the nursing home, exactly, Wayne. You have people that come visit their parents, put them in there whatsoever. They don't come back to see them. But as soon as the parents get ready to die, my mom is gonna go. Yeah, because you want the insurance money. So yes, we have them doing it all the time. But we need to take another look on how we treat our family members, how we treat our elderly, because like you said, the elderly was the ones that normally be looked at on to get wisdom from, to find out where you been, find out where you going. It's a lot of stuff going around, and it just don't make any sense. These people better open up their mind, and they better get it together because we're not going to be here long if we keep going with the way that we doing now. It's ridiculous and it's sad, and that's all I got.
Thank you. Felicia, your thoughts?
Well, good evening, everybody. Hope everybody had a good weekend. I've got so many thoughts, and yeah, thank you, Katrina. So, for the folks who don't know, I'm a Brooklyn girl, Brooklyn woman, Brooklyn senior, been here all my life. My family's here 120 years. So, what does that mean? We got here before the subway. Okay. And it's a sad day for many in this city. My condolences to the family. It's very interesting. People say a lot of things about who they are. And many people say they're Christians, but when things like this happen, they let you know what's in their heart.
Whew.
I ride the train maybe 4 days out of the week. I ride the train rush hour like Mel does. Anyone who rides the subway any period of time here in New York City, or even when you come to visit, you're going to see stuff. You're going to see a lot of stuff. You're going to see a lot of inhumanity. You're going to see people doing dope on the train platform. You're going to see people smoking crack in the train. You're going to see somebody asking for money. You're going to see hungry families. You're going to see people jump the turnstile. You're going to see people actually live in the subway.
Wow.
But as Mel said, there is an understanding that you get your ass up and you move to another car.
Mm.
You don't step in to take the life of a fellow passenger.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
can say without hesitancy that if every time someone came on the train and made a noise or a ruckus or had an outburst, that
Mhm.
someone thought they needed to defend the people in the train car, then the trains would never move.
Woo!
There would be a life taken every single day in this
Amen.
city. Every single day. There are a
Mm.
lot of people, a lot of comments in the chat. I'm going to talk to you from where I live. I
Okay.
ride that F train uptown. Yes, I do. I've seen horrible things on that train. I've had days when nothing's going on. But from when the time you get on, you just keep your head on the swivel. Now, there were a couple of people down there at the Delancey Street stop when this happened. And when the train pulled into the station, they did tell the conductor, and the train didn't move any further. The doors stayed open.
Mm.
And this Daniel, who claims to be, I don't know, saving the people, he's defending, protecting, I think he blanked out. I don't think he was hearing people after a while. And
Mm.
they were in there asking him to get off a Jordan.
Oh my God.
And he wasn't paying attention.
Mm.
Flashback.
And he goes into his mode and he takes a life.
Mm.
And if you saw the piece where he gets interviewed by the police, he says, "Yeah, I took him out."
Oh my God.
So let me put and listen. Hey Daniel, you might be on Diva's platform tonight. So come on now, I'm talking to you now.
Mm.
Don't let me see your crazy ass on the F train. I'm telling you right now. I see you out there. I'm macing you before you even see me.
Mm.
I'm going to get out my belt, my bag of pennies, and I'm going to call you out on that train car and said, "Killer on board,"
Oh my God.
because he's dangerous.
That's right.
He's dangerous. And when they allowed him to walk away, but they told Jonathan Majors, "You's
Oh.
guilty."
Woo! Oh my God. You talking?
Lawlessness is what is in
Mm.
the world right now.
Mm.
That's what's ruling right now is lawlessness.
Mm.
It's the same court that told Jonathan he was guilty from running away from Grace, the
Mm.
would-be dancing drunk.
Mm.
They said, "No, no, no, you're guilty, and you got to go do a whole year's worth of anger management and everything else." And what did they give this Daniel? He went to the bar to have a drink.
Oh my gosh.
He didn't get no therapy. He
Mm.
didn't have to go sit no counseling. He didn't get no probation. I think what happened was the jury began to just get so frustrated with one another, and they had dropped one of the charges. And over the weekend, the folks probably said, they just tapped out of this situation, and just whoever was holding out for the guilty just collapsed. But now that puts all of us at risk, even those of you who come here to visit, because
Mm.
now there are going to be all kinds of people trying to take people's lives on the train straight out, looking for a not guilty verdict. And I absolutely agree with Wayne. Had the colors been different, that person would have been found guilty on both charges.
Oh my God.
But no, here's a message out there. Danny boy, I see you on the F train. I see you on the J train. I'm calling you out. I'm taking out my mace and we going to work. Okay? Because that's how I'm feeling about you. I'm done.
Ooh.
Miss
Ooh.
Felicia, Miss Steve, I'm sorry about this. Miss Felicia, you were fantastic. And I also was thinking, we just put a criminal in the White House, but yet we want to blame this man who passed away as being the most evil person in New York City. Are we crazy? I'm seeing the comments. I'm seeing the people under the post saying, congratulations. What are we doing here? I mean, the most dangerous person in this country at this moment was not on that train that at that moment that passed away. It's in the White House right now, or going to the White House in January. So the people out there celebrating, oh yeah, we got a victory. No, and like Miss Felicia said, we ride the trains all the time. We see worse, and no shade to the man that passed away, and rest, God bless his family. But I've seen far worse than him, Miss Steve, on the train. That's all I can tell you. Far worse, and I never, as a man, thought, oh, I have to. This man, he was entitled. He wanted to make what is it? He knew what he was doing. He was looking for trouble. He was absolutely looking for trouble. That missed the penny person. He's looking for trouble. He was looking for a victim. He found one, and because we're in this political craziness, he got away with murder, in my opinion.
I agree with you, Mel. And many people probably don't even realize it, but they've seen Jordan probably performing at 34th Street. He used to be the Michael Jackson impersonator outside where the Macy's is, and you would come down the stairs. So it wasn't uncommon for him to be in the subway. And I understand people say, well, where was his family? So as Katrina said, sometimes you can't take them to take their meds when they get older and things like that. But nonetheless, Daniel wasn't there to save nobody. He was having a moment. In my opinion, he was feeling like he needed to do something to somebody, because I am confident many of you saw that video. I don't know who he thought he was saving. The whole train emptied out. The whole train was emptied out. So it wasn't like he was holding him back from going after other people. But again, I see him. I'm pulling out the mace. I got the pennies ready. We're going to get to work. Because I'm not becoming his next victim. And if I may also say, I don't think this is the first time he took somebody's life either.
Well, y'all, it's a rough story, but every now and then we got to go through it and we got to have these conversations. I'm going to roll into the next story. This story has been out there for a couple months now, but I personally just came across this story. So let's get into this. And I thought about the Wendy Williams of it all when I saw this particular story. So let's listen.
What I went through, and
locked up like a prisoner in her own home. Her jailer, she says, her own nephew and his girlfriend. It all started after she allowed them to move into her Harlem apartment a few years ago. At first, things seemed okay. The plan was to have the couple help out with paying bills.
I thought she was a nice person, and we accepted her. But later, after about a year or so, she was still there. She started getting really ugly, and they stopped paying rent.
81-year-old Margie Allen is describing how things quickly changed. The conditions she endured, allegedly at the hands of her own family. For months, she says the couple made it difficult for her to move freely around in her apartment. She says this gate was used to keep her confined.
She put the gate there so that I couldn't go to the bathroom.
And apparently the gate blocked Allen from the kitchen as well. And that's not all.
I couldn't even take a shower.
Allen shows us pictures of what it was like inside her apartment. She says the couple used clutter to block the hallway. That made it hard to leave her apartment on a daily basis. And to top it off, she says there was also verbal abuse.
She was always cursing at me.
Allen remembers one day things got physical.
I was trying to get out of the apartment. He was pushing me back and all. And then by then, that really got upset, that really started scaring me.
At some point, police got involved.
Eventually, the police came from the precinct, 28th precinct. And then they also came, and he finally opened the door. And then they asked him what was the problem. In the process, they took him to jail. And they explained to me, this man is attempting to have you committed.
Committed to a mental institution. With tearful eyes, she tells us the couple had plans to take over her finances and her apartment, and they allegedly went to the extreme. Feeling lost and confused, Allen said she was treated worse than an animal and had no idea what to do.
I was just so fearful. And then it was just so hard. It was just so much. I just hate them. It's just, I was able to reach out to Stephanie.
She turned to Stephanie McGraw, founder of We All Really Matter, or WARM, a community organization that helps domestic violence victims.
At her critical point, this family member wanted the apartment. And so what they did was went to the court and told the court that she was mentally incapable of taking care of herself. They said, oh, we think she's crazy because she is using the bathroom in a bucket. They had her locked in the back. She couldn't get to the bathroom.
McGraw and her team quickly moved in, helped Allen navigate the court system.
We went to family court. We got all protection for Miss Allen, got the nephew and his girlfriend out the house. We also, from that, got Margie grief counseling.
Now Allen says she's free, doing better, and offers this advice.
I'm sorry, I don't know why my thing is clocking like that.
Advice to any senior who may fall victim.
You think you can handle it by yourself, but you can't. You have to find people that would help you, as I did.
Allen spends time at WARM, a place she says lives up to its name. In Harlem, Nicole Johnson, Pix 11 News.
So sad that happened to her. Mel, your thoughts?
Well, those people, they should be ashamed of themselves. I mean, I'm sorry. This one took me back, Diva, because it got me. It definitely got me. I don't know. Maybe it's just the previous story, but it definitely, got me. They should be ashamed of themselves. Totally ashamed of themselves. And thank God that organization was able to come in and help her feel safe and get her all the legal help she need and protect herself, because obviously she's a very, very capable and, beautiful lady. She's, moving around, she's doing well. And I hope the best for her. I know it's going to be, it's terrible. Very, very terrible and horrific. Those people need to be put in prison. It's terrible.
Absolutely. Leo, your thoughts?
Also, I had not heard of this story. This is the first time I've heard of it, so I'm just processing it just now. But from what I heard you say when reading the article, there was no, or listen to the news accounts, I did not hear of criminal charges, because it's kidnapping. It's a lot of things that's going on with this particular story that I did not hear. So I'm very interested and I'm going to do my own follow-up to see if any criminal charges were put against these two people. One, it was her nephew, and then it was his girlfriend, correct?
Yep.
So they came in with the scheme to get that apartment. And like Mel said, thank goodness for WARM, this particular organization that was able to give her justice in the form of legal help. They said they sent her to therapy. She got therapeutic help, mental help. I'm so glad that she reached out and was able to get the support that she needed to get her life back. Because it does remind me of Wendy Williams, because people can decide. These people, this nephew and this niece, went to court to try to say she was not capable, she was incapacitated, and she was not able to take care of herself. And I think that that's ruthless. I think that it's despicable. I think it's disgusting. I do hope that some criminal charges will levy against these people, but I am very glad she was able to get out of her situation. I'm very happy about that.
She's fortunate. To God be the glory. She's fortunate.
Amen.
Yep. Amen. Felicia, your thoughts?
Amen. I'm so glad too, because we know how easily that can happen, So based on the little piece you share with us, clearly this nephew had no place to stay. He had no place to live. Maybe she thought she was going to be kind, gracious, give him a place to stay a couple of days. Once in New York City, once you live someplace for 30 days, I don't care if you come to visit me and you here for a month, this is now deemed your residency, and then you have rights in court. And
Yes,
so
you
he
do.
must have done that, and maybe the girlfriend was staying every now and then until the 30 days had passed, and then they went and put this plan in action. But to God the glory, there was warm, and she was cognizant enough to go out and get that help, and probably thank the good Lord there's cell phones, because she said they weren't letting her out of the room.
Mm.
And they responded, and they responded, and they're clearly quite effective,
Yes.
very effective.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing that story, Diva. Thank you.
Thank you. Savannah, your thoughts?
It's hard enough trying to find the right caregiver to assist the elderly family member, one that you can trust, one that will have the best interest for your loved one. So you would think that your own family would be that the right person to care for you in your later years. Um, I'm questioning, where was the other family? Where was the mother, father of this niece nephew situation? Was anybody coming by and checking in on her as well? Because they were not only trying to take over her home, but her finances as well. And bless her heart, she's a strong 81.
Yes.
And she knew that what they were doing was not right. And it is just now her faith in her family and her loved ones is broken. Who's there to protect her now? I mean, these are acts that are unforgivable. To be betrayed and aided by your own family members. That is heartbreaking and gut wrenching. And I hope that she finds peace and someone to really protect her and love her, such as this organization. So I'm glad that she did have the information at hand to get someone to fight for her and protect her.
Yeah, just so fortunate because they was trying to have her committed to a home so they could take over her finances too. It truly reminded me of Wendy Williams. They wanted to snatch her up, kick her out, put her in a home, make her seem crazy. Remember, they was blocking her from going to the bathroom, but then they told the people she was using the bathroom in a bucket because y'all wouldn't let her in the bathroom. She said she couldn't even shower. So to back up a little bit, give a little bit more information, she allowed the nephew to move in, and his girlfriend was with her because she figured the nephew would help paying with the bills. She said they stopped paying rent, so they bamboozled her. They was paying at first, then they stopped paying, and then they kicked in their plan, so to speak, like Felicia was saying. Katrina, your thoughts?
Yes, this little lady must have a guardian angel
Mm.
because sometimes these things do not end up on the right decision in the right way. Some of them will unalive them, keep them in the house, and keep getting their money. Um, it just so happened the police came by that day. If he probably didn't, she probably still be going through what she's going through. They trying to she moved them in because she probably on a fixed income because she said they were supposed to help with the bills and things. So she moving them in thinking that she's gonna get help and probably help with some more little stuff if the girl was there, you know what I mean? So she took them in as being trusting. So her trust factor is really, really up right now because she don't know she can trust, especially when your family members do you that way. That is totally sad. And for them, the boy, the nephew, and the girlfriend, they need their ass whoop. I mean, they need their butt whoop. You doing this to old person? Don't you know when you mess with these old people, you block your blessings. Your blessings fall very very short. So they gonna see their karma way faster than they would when move that little child, way faster than what they think they are. Because that's totally ridiculous. You don't mess with the elderly. Because the elderly is supposed to be blessed. And if you're doing these things to these elderly people, your blessing's gonna fall short. And that's a sad situation. But like I said, somebody, a guardian angel or somebody was looking out for this little lady because this could have ended in a bad way. And I'm glad that it didn't. That's all I got.
Thank you. Wayne, your thoughts?
You know, seniors are like sitting ducks.
Mm. Oh.
A lot of times when seniors, like this lady was 81,
Mm-hmm.
and when getting older like that, a lot of times you outlived a lot of your family members.
Come on, you
Family
talking? Yeah.
members, family members that would be in your downline, like that would take care of you.
Mm-hmm.
And when you start getting down to like uh, a great niece, great niece, and them kids don't know you.
Mm-hmm.
They're not. They haven't interacted unless you got like a. There are families like that, but on the most part, those kids are living their lives, growing
Uh-huh.
their families and stuff. They literally just don't have time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, the seniors have early onset of dementia, still
Right.
functioning and everything, but
Right.
early onsets of dementia. Okay, and a lot of times they can't make these decisions.
Mm.
You know, uh, Bob and Susie come over. Hey, I got an aunt that lives up there. She got a few dollars. She
Mm.
lives by herself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Let's go over there. Maybe start making a couple of visits and Baba talking. And convincing them we can help you with this and all this. That sounds good. I know what I'm talking about because I had a cousin who did that to my great aunt
Oh wow.
who was suffering from dementia.
Mm.
And guess who she turned on? His mother.
Whew.
And he was trying to swindle. So I know it happens. So I don't know if seniors, you need to, kind of have things intact because, heck, if you can't trust your family, who are you going to trust? And a
Nobody.
lot of times they mean well, but there's so many scams out there for seniors. Um, telling seniors, paying a debt, and we go to Walmart and get all of these cards, and give me the codes off of them.
Mm.
Secret shoppers telling them we're gonna give you $1,000 for secret shopping, and you're on Social Security, and they send you a check and tell you keep 300 and just send the rest back to me. And 30 days later, after they found out that check was bad, your Social Security money is gone, and you can be arrested for passing a bad check.
Whew.
So all these scams, I can only imagine how much of stuff we don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
But it's sad. And nobody's really, unless you got that really strong family unit, the system or whatever is looking out for the seniors. Unless you have family or a whole bunch of money, you're not getting that care if you can't care for yourself. I'm done.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
You're right, Wayne. I remember hearing a story about this older guy. He sold his house, and so the people called him and told him that he won the public clearinghouse, but
Mm.
he had to send them money. So, and then he was kept sending them money. Told him he got to pay these taxes, he got to pay these taxes whatsoever, so he can get the money. And then they told him when you go to the bank and they ask you why you keep getting that money out, tell them it's for your daughter. So you have to take care of your daughter. You're doing something for your daughter. So he sold his house, but the people came to get the house, move in the house. They called his daughter and asked his daughter why hasn't he moved out yet. So he called his daughter. Well, his daughter called him and asked him what's going on. And he said, "Well, I'll tell you when you get here." So she had to pay to move him out of his house. His daughter had to pay, the movers to move his stuff out the house. But to come to find out, they had swindled him out of $750,000, and he
Wow.
was broke. You can look that story up. Trust me. They told him that he won the money from the public clearinghouse, and he had to send them the money. They tried that with me, and I said, if I am one, you just take it out of my winnings and send me the rest. But either way, they get a lot of old people like that, big time. But that's all I had to say.
Thank you. That's so sad. All right, guys, I'm going to roll into this last story, and this one is with Tina Knowles. Jay-Z has been named in the Diddy lawsuit. The Carters, though, seem to be still hanging in there thick as thieves because, Blue Ivy is in the Mustafa Lion King movie that is coming out. I want to say it's going to come out on December the 20th, I believe. And they went to the premiere today as a family. But Tina Knowles said that someone hacked her social media account because someone because she was. It was a picture it was a post that she liked saying that Jay-Z was being sued for the R word. And people were going crazy saying, oh my God, Tina Knowles liked this post. Tina Knowles said someone hacked her account. It was not her. But let's go into first a little background, and then I'll go into updated with the Tina Knowles situation. Okay, so what do I want to show here? Let's do this first. Hopefully it'll play because my computer seems to be acting up a little bit.
Allegations he sexually assaulted a 13-year-old girl alongside rapper Sean Diddy Combs. That civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include Jay-Z. The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, says she was sexually assaulted by both men at a Video Music Awards after party in 2000. In a blistering statement, Jay-Z accuses Jane Doe's attorney of trying to blackmail him. He said further, quote, these allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? He added, my only heartbreak is for my family. My wife and I will have to sit our children down, one of whom is at the age where her friends will see the press and ask questions about the nature of these claims and explain the cruelty and greed of people. Joining us now, Joey Jackson, CNN legal analyst and criminal defense attorney and former prosecutor. There's a lot to unpack here. Joey, I want to start with just the statement from Jay-Z, which is so forceful in its denial. I just read a teeny part of it. It's long, where he says that they should file a criminal complaint. Is that even possible at this point?
So based on the allegations, Jessica, good morning. Good to see you. I think that it certainly could be. Why do I say that? Now, he, of course, is more than annoyed, would be an understatement. Yeah. He has a family and he has a lot to protect, including his brand. But to the extent that he's saying, hey, come after me criminally, that could be likely. Why do I say that? Because rape in New York, and what's alleged in this complaint, is forcible compulsion. What that means in English is that it's saying that he held her down, raped her, and that, of course, the allegation is that Mr. Combs did the same thing. And so if those facts are actually accurate, it would require an investigation by prosecutors. And if true, right, you could pursue it criminally. Now, with respect to evidentiary value, yes, it happened 24 years ago, right, more than 24 years ago. But in the allegations, there's a few things. Number one, there's allegation that another celebrity was present at the time, right, in addition to other people. Number two, there's the claim by the victim, right, that she left, that she went and she was seen by a gas attendant who saw her in distress. Number three, that she phone called her dad, who showed up, the 13-year-old, and now removed her. So civil complaint, simply allegations, needs to be proven in a court of law. But if true, it could rise to the level of criminality, and we'll see what happens, or if the DA looks and investigates.
So what happens now?
So what happens now is this is simply a civil complaint, and in a civil complaint, it goes through the technical legal process. Now, the distinction, Jessica, between civil and criminal, of course, is that civil is for monetary damages, right? The system cannot only reward you with money. There's allegations that this 13-year-old is suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, suffered depression, etc. So now you go to fact-finding, right? Before that, just briefly, there was a demand letter sent. And a demand letter is a letter being sent by a lawyer saying, hey, I don't have to sue you. We can sit, we can mediate it. If we reach an agreement, it never sees the light of day. Jay-Z saying, I don't care about your demand letter. I look at it as blackmail. You want to sue me, sue me. You want to look at it criminally, look at it criminally, but it'll go through the fact-finding process. If a trial is necessary to determine the facts, that's what will happen, but it'll be deemed civil. No indication at this point as to whether or not any criminal investigation will ensue as a result of this.
Yeah, and Jay-Z came back incredibly forcefully against these allegations and really singled out that attorney as well for being, I'm paraphrasing here, but greedy, saying he's out to get money, and calling that letter essentially blackmail.
Yeah, and in addition to that, Jessica, also suing the attorney, saying he's intimidating him, harassing him, etc. Now, demand letters are not new. What lawyers do is they send them out as a matter of protocol and practice so that you can expedite the process. At the same time, there's certain ethical standards that you have to use, and you have to have a good faith factual belief that this is true. Now, you can argue this complaint was filed in October, right? Could have mentioned Jay-Z then. You didn't. Why? It was amended now to include him. Are the factual assertions true? Are they fact or fiction? Is it a money grab or not? All of that will be litigated in a court of law, but according to Jay-Z, this never happened is pure fiction. It is a money grab, and he's fighting for his name, reputation, and certainly innocence and justice in his view, which is he didn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah, and you touch on a point too that I wanted to ask you about, which was that this was an amendment to this already existing lawsuit. What are people to take away from that? The fact that they're coming back and adding to this now with this specific name.
Yeah, Jessica, so it depends. That's also common. You could amend lawsuits, right, as a matter of course, and you do, to include certain factual allegations. The interesting thing to me in terms of your question and the takeaway, if you had this information about Jay-Z, it happened allegedly in September of 2000. Why not include it in the original complaint? What happened between October and now that necessitated you putting in, and it's a question of credibility. Was he celebrity A, right, as was noted in the October complaint? Is this pure fiction? And what's interesting in the complaint is he really, that is the lawyer, tries to tie Jay-Z to Mr. Combs in so many ways, right? Birds of a feather. There is the argument that he's making. You can make that argument. You need the facts to sustain it. Let's see if they come up with any facts.
All right, we will see. All right, Joey Jackson, thanks.
I don't know why my thing was being so glitchy. I'm sorry about that, y'all, but you got the gist of it for the most part. And I'm not going to go through this whole Tina Knowles situation, but we will get through some of it. Let me see if I can bring it up here. Let me share screen and see if it will work out. So Tina Knowles denies reacting to Jay-Z's allegations. She says, I was hacked. Tina Knowles is making it clear that she hasn't weighed in on her son-in-law Jay-Z's current legal woes, posting a pointed response after her social media activity was called out. Beyonce's mother posted to Instagram on Monday after reports began pointing out that the Knowles monarch liked a post detailing the allegation made against Jay-Z and Diddy in a recent lawsuit. So listen, people on the internet, they are keen and they're like watching everything. So this was the ABC, post about it. And then they see that Tina Knowles liked it and the people went crazy. However, as Tina claimed in the note shared to Instagram, she was not the person who liked the news post. As she says, she was hacked prior to the social media activity. I was hacked. As you know, I do not play about my family. So if you see something uncharacteristic of me, just know that it's not me. She continued, as you know, I said that part right there. Bay's mother issued another warning in the caption of the posting. Please stop playing with me. No weapon formed against my family shall prosper. While Tina and Beyonce have remained tight-lipped regarding the allegation, Jay-Z issued a heated response Sunday evening, calling the lawsuit heinous and a blackmail attempt. Diddy's lawyers also spoke out against the lawsuits, which claimed the rap moguls gave the girl substances and Arthur, a 13-year-old, at the MTV VMAs after party in 2000, calling it a shameless publicity stunt. Attorney Tony Busby, who has filed the suit on behalf of the anonymous accuser and other Diddy accusers, responded by accusing Jay-Z of trying to bully and harass me and this plaintiff. Jay-Z has since filed a motion asking the judge to force the plaintiff to say her name or to dismiss the suit altogether. This is a whole hot mess. Mel, what are your thoughts?
Well, you know what, Diva? I think I'm going to go in a different direction because I feel like Beyonce and her mother kind of know who Jay-Z is at this point after 30 years or 20 years of being with him. They kind of know everything about him. And I guess the unpopular opinion is I actually think her account was hacked. I kind of do because I except for Solange and that infamous, elevator event, for the most part, Beyonce and her mother have been very, tight with Jay-Z. They really never show cracks in public, except for the music with Beyonce. But Beyonce mother seems that, she plays it safe. She doesn't really rock the boat. So I don't know. In my opinion, I could be wrong. I'm gonna believe Miss Mama Knowles. I'm gonna believe that her account was hacked because we're going to have to investigate more about Jay-Z and what this is and what's going on. But for now, I believe that it was hacked and that the hackers thought they were being funny and shady and wanted to. They probably couldn't get access to Jay-Z and other accounts because they're so high level and they always monitor with her. It was easier to do something shady, in my opinion. Again, I could be wrong, but I think it was hacked.
All right, appreciate you, Leo. Your thoughts?
God bless you, Mel. You cute. God bless you. God bless you. And not taking anything away from your opinion because it's definitely valued. I will say that as far as Tina Knowles liking something, I will strike it up to she didn't read the full thing. She must have caught some words and then liked it and did not read it fully, and it came back to bite her. Because certain instances on the Instagrams and on the Twitters and all of that, she done been caught up in some mess before. I'll say that. Then I don't doubt her support for Jay-Z and Beyonce and their family, because that's the part that I say she probably misread something and liked it and didn't even read the full thing. So I will say this, right? And I'm going to parse my words as carefully as I can. I do not doubt that Jay-Z and Sean Diddy Combs have been caught up in some BS, or they've been caught in some compromising positions. So because I take that back to how they see their relationship. And in an interview, Puffy will say that the only person that can call him Sean is his mama and Jay-Z. And Jay-Z on the David Letterman interview said that the only person that calls him Sean is his mother and Puffy. Nobody in his circle say Sean, but them two. So they are linked. They are linked. But my caveat to that is this dog particularly don't hunt for me because of how it was played. If you had the goods on Jay-Z when you dropped that criminal suit in October, you should have dropped it against him too. And I feel like he comes out so strongly against these particular allegations is because they ain't got the goods on this particular allegations. And when his legal team told Tony Busby that they really did not have the goods on it and they not gonna pay no money, then he upped the ante. Do I doubt the fact that Jay-Z's people reached out to surrounding people to get information from them about the claim? I'm quite sure they felt intimidated. I'm quite sure they did. But you still can't come up with something and claim that it's him against a mogul that has so much money to fight. I really do believe if he felt like he was guilty of the crime, he would have already paid the money with a demand letter, just the same way as Puffy did with Cassie. Now that it's come public and it's been longer than 24 hours, this has been 24 hours now tonight, and he's still not paying the money, I don't feel like they got the goods on this particular claim. I'm not here to say there's not other claims that they probably could get Jay-Z on. I just feel like in this particular claim with this particular young lady, this is not it. This one ain't it. They tried to get the money. They couldn't get it. They thought they was going to publicly embarrass him. And he been drugged. He has been drugged by his nose all through the social media streets for the past 24 hours. The people do believe, and I believe, that he's been caught up with some foolishness with Puffy. But I don't think this particular case is a smoking gun.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Leo. Wayne, your thoughts?
I think it's plausible to believe that she got hacked. Why would you mess with that kind of money? Even if she hated him, why would she do that indirectly that would affect their money? You know what I mean? That's what he's trying to protect, his brand and everything. I think she probably was hacked. These hackers out there, they can get and do stuff you don't even know it. I just cannot believe or would want to believe that she would do that, almost like putting a stamp of approval. Yeah, I believe that, so if I believe that, I think he, whatever, putting her, co-signing on it. I don't see that, because now you messing with money. Not only his money, her daughter's money. I just don't think it. That she'd have to be stupid or crazy to do something like that, even if she couldn't stand the man.
All right, I'm coming to you, Felicia. I appreciate all your thoughts so far, Mel, Leo, Wayne. I'll just throw this in the mix while I go to Felicia. So somebody hacks you, and when they hack you, they don't write no comment. They just happen to like a post. I guess it's possible. Felicia, your thoughts?
Diva, can I please remind you that her husband went and took the safe out the house? Look, come on now. Look, there are some things some people do and don't do. I'm confident that her home has a whole alarm system on it, a camera system on it, and everything else. But somehow, some way, this safe the whole thing, as I remember, was removed from her house. And as I think it was Leo said, there's been a couple of incidents as well where she said she was hacked before. So yes, I do believe that she may have hit the button. She didn't hit the button. She don't know what she thought. I don't know. I'm going to give her grace and say, and I think you even said it before, Tina, you got to do better. So, just stay off the social media, please. Because she's done this before. Now, let's talk about that tramp attorney, Tony Busby.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
For those of you who don't know, Tony Busby, net value is $50 million. And I believe when the Carters get done with him, it'll be down to about $20 million. Facts, there has not been one case brought by the Busby law firm where they have named a plaintiff. But they've been doing facts, a lot of letter writing, telephone calling, shopping out videos, and letting people know we saw you on the tape, or we saw you at a party, or we think this is you. So they've put a lot of fear out there. But the
Yes.
one thing that I do know, you don't scare everybody. You can have a whole lot of people that you come after. 85, 73 people might give in, but there's going to be some folks that are just not going to fall into the fear pattern. And I think this is what happened here with the Carters. Unlike Mr. Combs, this couple is married. They do have children. They do present as a family unit. And Mr. Carter is not out here throwing, what is these things? White parties, blue parties, freak offs, and all this other stuff. If he has done something inappropriate, immoral, illegal, of which, oh, note to the folks in the chat, yes, I do call him Sean at times, grew up in the same neighborhood. Okay. If he has, and I do know that he has, I don't believe it's anything necessarily to do with these kind of raunchy, salacious stories that we've had out here. However, I have such a bad view and a bad feeling about Tony Busby that I find all of his lawsuits are questionable. Every last one of his plaintiffs are people who we have not seen identified. And I personally am 8.5 weeks in waiting on the 9-year-old. And when Mr. Busby can demonstrate some credibility, bring forth at least one client, they don't have to be a minor. And I'm not, that didn't go past me either, that he claims that Mr. Carter was with a minor. Okay. He didn't say a 22-year-old. He didn't say, they were 18. No, he said it was a minor. But if he can come forward with one credible plaintiff in one of his 20 something. But it was supposed to be 120 something. But okay, the 20 something. Wait a minute, how many phone calls was it? He got over 3,000 phone calls. Okay, so but anyway, can he come forward with something of credibility, of quality, then maybe we as a group can have a different kind of conversation. But in the interim, what he is doing to this family and to this family's business, and he's worth 50 million, I say it's not going to stand for long. I'm done.
Whew, Katrina, your thoughts?
So Felicia, do you think he's actually muddying the waters for Diddy when he coming up with these lawsuits, or when Diddy do go to trial, that his thing will be thrown out because of all the felonious lawsuits that they having?
I don't know. You got to ask Donnie J.
I don't know if that woman did it or not. She don't take care of her beach house. The beach house going in the ocean, so she don't take care of details. So maybe she did hit the button, didn't realize that she hit the button. Um, with I think some of the people have paid Tony off when he sent the lawsuits to these different people that didn't want to be caught up in the allegations. Maybe some of them paid him, and so he by thinking that if they paid him, maybe he think that Jay-Z was gonna pay him. I don't know if Jay-Z did it or not. We know they all got a shady, shiny past, so we don't know what happened until it all comes to light. When we still ain't gonna know, because something's still gonna be left behind. We still ain't gonna know the full picture. So I don't know what Mr. Busby gonna do. I don't know what Sean Carter gonna do. Um, I don't put nothing past these people. I don't. These people are very sketchy, and money just messes their heads up. I don't know. I don't put nothing past them. I'm not saying he did it. I'm not saying he didn't do it. I don't know. Maybe we'll see with the lawsuit. Like Felicia said, if he going after Busby, whoever the man is with all these lawsuits and nobody never came forward and did anything. But I'm thinking that some of them people that he have sent letters to, I'm thinking he got paid for them. And that's why he thought that he can get Jay-Z, because like you said, he didn't mention Jay-Z name at first. He sent Jay-Z a letter. Remember they saying that an unknown person was suing out when we wanted to know who that person was, which we thought it was Jay-Z all along. So now it came out it was him. So I'm thinking like Reston paid him off. He thought Jay-Z was gonna pay him off. It didn't go his way, not out in the public. And maybe Jay-Z fighting it because he's trying to stand up for his name. But sometimes your past just come back to bite you in your butt, and we'll just know how it goes from this. I mean, because we don't know. We'll just have to see how it goes. That's all I got, Diva.
Ooh, I appreciate all of y'all tonight. You know, it's a loaded conversation. Felicia, did you want to say something?
Yeah, Diva. Some of the folks in the chat don't remember that particular lawsuit with this 13-year-old. But I think it's real important that they be reminded that she says when she gets to the gas station, she calls her father and her father comes to pick her up, and he doesn't call the police and he doesn't take her to the hospital.
A lot of these cases, there's the similarities. There's a lot of similarities. Most of them, they was given some type of drink with something in it. They started to feel woozy. They either went to go lay down, or they found themselves laying down and then found themselves going in and out of consciousness and was violated. A lot of them left and was afraid to tell anybody. Some claimed they did. Some say they went to the hospital. Some said, the hospital records were lost and the police didn't believe them. It's a lot of similarities to all of them. The similarities can mean many things. The similarities can mean that is true and that was his blueprint for doing things. The similarities could mean that, Diva saw that XYZ person got a payday, so I'm going to utilize information from what they said. I'm going to go to the lawyer, jump on the bandwagon, and I'm going to get myself a payday too. Especially if I speak to a lawyer, allegedly, that says, listen, just we're going to get you some money, and you don't have to worry about your name coming out, because you can file as a Jane Doe. And then maybe allegedly this lawyer shows you all these other paydays he got from these other celebrities, and they walked away scot-free and got a little paycheck. When this lawsuit was first filed with Tony Busby and a 13-year-old, the people that it got the distraction that he initially wanted, because the prosecutors in the Southern District was looking for the minors in Diddy case. And when he came out and said there was a person as young as 9, that lawsuit has yet to be filed. We're still waiting on that person, as Felicia stated. But he did come out with a 13-year-old. And this was this girl that now has Jay-Z added to it. We read that lawsuit over here. And it did say that a celebrity A also violated her, and that celebrity B, who was a female, watched. So, yes, you can think to yourself that, celebrity, the female, maybe they paid, and that's why you're refusing to name the female. But see, what the female doesn't understand is, if this case goes to trial, the female is screwed, because their name can still potentially come out anyway. Because you may the accuser may need it to prove that she's telling the truth. And so that would mean that the female celebrity paid for nothing, because your name is still going to be destroyed and up in there. And so I played that one piece from that lawyer to say that he's saying that part of what Jay-Z is saying is possibly true, because if this lawyer knew that Jay-Z was celebrity A from the door, and also if he knows who this female celebrity is, why hold off? Why not name them in the suit when you filed it in October? It's seeming like you being retaliatory. It's seeming like it's fraudulent. If you knew his name from way back then, why not just name it? But it's like Jay-Z says, you're trying to extort him out of money, and now because he wasn't going to give you the money, now you're going to put his name in this lawsuit. So the lawyer is playing a game. Does he really want justice for his client? If you want justice and you didn't give Diddy a chance to mediate, well, then we're going to put all their names in the lawsuit in October, point blank in a period. So Tony Busby is a hot mess, but this is just my belief before I close out. The prosecutors over there in the Southern District, the one that everybody say, once the feds come for you, they 100%, you're going to go down, whatever. I think they were scared. They filtered themselves out to a few lawyers, and they got lawyers to take the bite. Who was the lawyer that took the bite? They got a Tony Busby, and every case he brought has been a hot mess since. Who was a lawyer they got to take a bite? Gloria Allred. And when Gloria Allred did her press conference, and she was so chest up, puffed out, and then she had that Thalia Graves sit up there telling all kinds of lies. Where's Gloria Red? The last court date for Diddy, she wasn't there, but she showed up for that one after she came out with that Gloria Red. But not Gloria Red, that Thalia Graves, and after Thalia Graves seemed to be a whole lot. We have where's Gloria? Then we got her daughter Lisa Bloom. Where is she? All of their clients are turning out to be whole lies. Where are they? It's a hot mess. We got to stay connected to this story. Felicia said yes before I close on out.
Thank you, Diva. And the other thing, as you were speaking, and Katrina touched on it a little bit, the reason why I think when he dropped that 13-year-old lawsuit, we talked about this, that he's been hitting people up for money, making these claims. So he could have said celebrity A, in all fairness, and that could have been you on Tuesday and me on Wednesday, because he was getting money. And it doesn't mean that the 13-year-old or the 21-year-old or the 30-year-old got paid, because if he's getting money from demand letters, there is nothing in writing that said, I got this for you, Diva. This person paid this firm this money so that this suit would not go forward. So I think with that 800 phone number that Quinn Emanuel put out, they have been getting a lot of phone calls. And Tony Busby is probably irate, because now folks are saying, yeah, I sent a check for so-and-so. I did a wire transfer for this amount of money. And so he's getting exposed. So this is this anger and this back and forth. And as far as this 13-year-old plaintiff, she could possibly be held liable for Mr. Carter's legal fees. And wouldn't that been horrible? Because Alex Spiro is $3,300 an hour. You got to be careful when you get out here now. Yes, I understand you want to be protected as a Jane Doe, but you better have all the other documents and evidence straight. Because if he comes back now, he says, I'm going to sue the Busby law firm, Tony Busby, and the plaintiff for my legal fees. And his attorney of record is Alex Spiro at $3,300 an hour. So it's going to be interesting.
Listen, it's a mess. We're going to stay connected. And over here, I would say this. Y'all know we keep it 100. We don't do groupthink. We do our own thinking here. And we say what we have to say. Listen, guys, I appreciate y'all for being here. Y'all know the routine. Hit the like button on the way out if you didn't hit it on the way in. I'll see y'all tomorrow night for Trending Topics. Good night and goodbye, everybody. Choo-choo.